Hello everybody, today is March 15th and I bet you can't recognize where I'm at. This is the back part of the clinic, which you normally don't see. I'm normally over at the front. That's just some IKEA art there, nothing special, you can pick that up. Today I want to talk about my philosophy of educating children, because it has come up several times today. People are asking, is he homeschooled? You can see him working in the background here. Yes, he is homeschooled. All our children are, and they are therefore very advanced, and they're moving along rather quickly. So what is my theory? My belief is rather like energetics, that everything needs to flow from one thing to the next, from one subject to the next, that there needs to be a relationship or a web that unites different subjects that are seemingly completely disparate. Why? Because that's the only way that if you find the one thing that they're interested in, that it will flow into everything else that they're interested in. So I don't think that there's any subject that you can't start them on. Hence, right now, my son is working on engineering and drafting. He's actually going to be drafting his first Popsicle bridge. I'll put a link to the image from the first project that we did, which was highly successful. I built it, but he learned the safety lesson on that one using just hot glue and popsicle sticks, nothing particularly extreme. And yet we were able to achieve a return of, it supported at least 2,147 times its own weight. And probably would have gone more, but we didn't have anything bigger than 70 pounds, so I hopped on there and it broke the top of it. The span was fine, but the struts didn't hold up, but it held him up, and he's nearly 70 pounds. Plus, there was a kilogram on there of bismuth, and so it definitely held at least 70 pounds. So how do I pick subjects? It's by inspiration. I go with whatever kind of pops into my head. I had already ordered the hot glue gun and the popsicle sticks, and it was a nice calm Sunday, and it seemed like a good time to do it. We're going to be doing soldering, soon, and I figured introducing them the hot glue gun first before we do solder was a good idea. And then I figured, why not have him do some drafting? So he's using just a piece of cardboard that's shaped like a popsicle stick and graph paper, and he's going to graph out his own design, and then he'll learn how to build it. He'll actually begin building it. He's only 7 years old, so there's no, it's not blueprints or anything. But eventually from there, I will actually show him how to use the 3D SketchUp, the Google SketchUp, and he'll be able to create his own 3D designs, and hopefully, if he decides he's not a bookworm person, he's not a math person, he's not a study in the books person, he can still do science, and he can still do great learning, and, he can make things, and he can build things. He really does like science in that direction. Every child's different, so you have to try different things with each one to see what their aptitudes are. And of course, certain toys lend, if they like playing with Legos, there's a good chance that they're going to like building with their hands or designing things. Other subjects, how I pick, in terms of what do I think is appropriate for the age, I don't listen to conventional wisdom on that. Because my thought is that you first expose them to the concepts, and eventually it sinks in and sinks in and it sinks in, and then they one day understand it. When he studies astronomy, he's obviously not going to know what everything means. He does have a rudimentary understanding of mass. Obviously, he knows what weight is, but mass, he doesn't really completely understand it. However, he can understand the concept of, that planet is 100 times the Earth's mass, or that star is 1,000 times the Sun's mass. So when we cover these topics, it's to really introduce the concept, and then later on, as it sinks in, and you'd be surprised what kind of things that they can memorize. And I'm talking about both Eastern sciences and Western sciences, and of course literature, music, art. Right? I have art books for him. We have books with anatomy. He's done anatomy. He knows several muscles and bones. So I think that a parent these days needs to be aware that it is a rapidly changing world, and the static education system cannot provide the different kinds of skills that are necessary to be a viable commodity in the workplace, to be desired, no matter whether you're self-employed or you have an employer. Somebody's going to want those skills. And so I believe that you got to give them as many skills as possible. Private schools are probably going to do a lot better, but they can't do some things, right? They're not going to install Space Engine, right? That's some kind of crazy Russian program, but it enables you to fly through space and actually see these things. And, he's doing projects and he's giving presentations, and we talk about money and debt and stock. He's actually seen how to use how I use the stock software. And so those kinds of things are not opportunities that even a private school can give, and it's just not possible. If you are able to give that kind of education, that's great. And if you can't, then don't despair. Find ways at night after school to make it a thing. Learning should never stop. It never ends. There's breaks. There's like more and there's less, but there's not really a stoppage of learning. I don't believe in that personally. That's just my philosophy. Everybody can have their own philosophy. Yeah, they got a break when we went on an anniversary vacation, but other than that, if I go up to the Adina Hopewell Mounds, they go with me. That's a learning opportunity. I see everything as an educational opportunity, and I record it. And he's learned how to make a map using Google Maps, and he's learned how to do research using the phone. And think about how powerful that is. All he's got to do is speak into the microphone, and he can look up anything he wants to learn. For example, he looked up geology, and we all learned that modern geology started about 1815. So think about my theory with the web. And if you like it, try it out. And hopefully your state, wherever you're at, or your country, will allow you the latitude to try different things. Kentucky does, so I am fortunate in that way. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you very much, and enjoy the picture.